So today we're going to be talking about addiction. So you might ask, what even is addiction? I asked ChatGPT, and this was the answer. What is the definition of addiction? A compulsive dependence on a substance, activity, or behavior despite negative sequence. What does the following have in common? Nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, drugs, and social media. What does it all have in common? 3 things to be exact, actually. And I'm going to break it down in 3 parts. The first part, dopamine boost. All of these substances trigger the brain's reward system, making you feel good and reinforcing the habit of wanting to have it again and again. Why do you pick up a cigarette? Why do you pick up a vape? Pick it up because you feel as though it'll relieve your stress. It'll make you feel better. Same reason why you drink coffee or matcha. Doom scrolling nowadays. It's when you scroll all day and there's no real reason why you do it. You just see a funny video, you laugh a little bit, then the next video you see some sad story and a shift in mood back and forth, and you don't exactly know how to feel. You just feel good once and then it goes away. A lot of people nowadays actually go through a dopamine detox where they take off all social media and they try to be off their phone and not be so stimulated all the time and not have to scroll in order to feel like they're entertained or watch a certain creator. But you should be watching me. Watch a certain creator in order to feel something, in order to be happy. Sometimes I like to do that as well. A dopamine detox is very necessary, and you never know, it might help you, and I would highly recommend it. Being off social media for a while, you get to look into nature, get to finish your chores, get to do the things that you actually need to do rather than just stay on your phone rotting all day. I'm very much guilty to drinking caffeine in order to wake up in the morning, get ready for work, get ready to go to the gym, need that extra pump, need that extra sugar. And although it's very helpful in a way, it can be addicting because I've seen, like my friend Alex, one time we were going out for birdies and lattes where we went to play indoor golf, and this man already had 2 cups of coffee prior to meeting up. And I thought, wow, it's really normalized nowadays, and I don't knock him for it because I've had the same experience, and I needed caffeine and I needed to get a certain amount of energy for a day in order to get through the day, and it's understandable, it's normalized, but like all things, it all comes with moderation, and you need to be able to know your limits and not overdo some things, not do too much to the point where if you don't have it, you start having withdrawals. That same thing goes with social media, the drugs, the caffeine, the alcohol, nicotine. The same reason why people smoke or drink. They get that buzz, they get the alcohol, and it makes them feel as though, it's the solution for some things where they need that buzz to get through the day, they need that buzz to feel something and to feel as though they're accomplished, some kind of reward system for themselves, which is never good. And that's when you start having issues, when, like I said, when you don't have the substance that you have or the activity that you have, you start having withdrawals and you need it and you're craving for it even though it's not necessary for you. You don't need to scroll on TikTok for 2 hours in order to feel something. But, a lot of this just needs a lot of moderation, understanding your limits, understanding when it's too much, and understanding where to draw the line. Tolerance and dependence. Over time, your body needs more to get the same effect, leading to cravings and withdrawal. Now, I just touched up on this, and it's very apparent that even little kids, little kids without their phones, they need it. They feel that it's necessary for them to have TikTok or play Minecraft or Fortnite in order to get through their day, or feel happier because they've been dragged into a certain situation or event that their parents dragged them into. And I'm guilty of that as well. I've been in those situations. Tolerance is really, really interesting part, because when you get tolerated to a certain amount of, let's say, marijuana, it doesn't hit the same as before. You need more in order to feel the same amount when you first started. Same thing with caffeine. I know somebody, Rufus, he drinks a lot of coffee, and nowadays he needs more coffee in order to feel the caffeine. He feels sleepy after just one cup, and he needs more in volume in order to get the same effect as I do. And it just takes me like a cup in order to get the caffeine boost. So that tolerance really messes you up, really. It makes you think, I need to have this certain amount in order to get the same effect. I need to get a lot in my system so that I can get the effects that I'm looking for. Same thing with social media, right? You need to scroll all day in order to feel like, okay, I got it out of my system, I watched enough, and now I can do my chores, now I can do my homework, And I guess detoxing also applies to this, because if you detox yourself from caffeine for a while, maybe you can look through alternatives, possibly sleeping more, and not having to crave caffeine so often. So detoxing yourself from social media, detoxing yourself from alcohol, give it a week. You never know how much that effect change could do to your body. And maybe you'll have withdrawals, and maybe you'll set back after a while, but at least you know that a week change can really make a difference. And maybe it won't, maybe it will. Slowly, baby steps, you get to understand just how important it is to take care of yourself and not have to depend on these substances, and not have to depend on a certain vape flavor, not have to depend on alcohol, so that you can get through the day and you realize that you could do it without all of that. So understanding to detox yourself and understanding not to overdo it, take care of yourself and be a lot more aware of the things that you're putting into your body. And for the third act, social and psychological factors. Peer pressure, stress, relief, and habits formed in daily life make it harder to quit. And all of this really just comes together in this third part. If you really think about it, why do we start most things? It's usually peer pressure, right? Like, why do people get into drugs? It's because somebody told them, hey, this can help you out, this can help you make you feel better. Why do people get into alcohol? Somebody gives them a drink, they like it, they like the effect, it gives them that buzz. It's like, hey, maybe I could get into this. And then social events and parties, and it's just a domino effect of constantly being pressured to do something. And it's really not good. And understanding how to control yourself in those situations is really hard. And I've had that experience myself, where friends were saying, hey, you can try this, or just try a little bit, it won't hurt. And you realize you don't really need all these things. You can find fulfillment in other ways, and I find fulfillment in playing guitar and going out, having fun without needing to be so dependent on alcohol or drinks in order to have fun. I'd rather have the experience of being around my friends to have fun. Understanding that it is a habit, it's a bad habit. All of these things, nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, drugs, social media, it is a habit. You get so used to your morning coffee, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram, YouTube, shorts, reels, hopefully watching my videos. You get so caught up in doing this in a daily basis that you think that it's okay, and you normalize it for yourself. You're on the toilet, sit there 10, 15 minutes, and you're just withering away while you're pooping. It happens. I've seen it. Maybe not that sense. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that these habits, although they may be small, can be a daily situation and a daily problem that continues to happen over and over again because you just think that it's okay and it's normal. You spend 5 hours playing video games and the day just go by, and you didn't expect that, or maybe you weren't planning to, but it happened. Alcohol, for example. You go out with your boys, with the girls every weekend, and you start to expect a drink in your hand every weekend, and then when it gets really bad, you're drinking by yourself and get wasted, and nobody's there to really help you out while you're vomiting over the sink. You don't want that. You don't want to be that person. Social and psychological factors really start to blend in. Your friend tells you that it's okay, parents say that it's okay, and you start to accept it. It becomes normalized, which is really not good. I guess my message would just be to know how to control yourself in these situations. Understand moderation. Understand that you don't always need these things. You can take it out of yourself. Go through a detox. Just see how much of a difference that you can do by yourself. You can read all these self-help books that you want, and read all these articles, but it doesn't matter until you really apply it to your own daily life. And I should take my own advice as well. But I want to know what's your addiction? What are you addicted to? And how are you trying to combat that in the end? How are you trying to better yourself so that the addiction doesn't become a necessity in your life? Let me know in the comments. Alright.